في الدنيا وما له في الآخرة من خلاق ومنهم من يقول ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار أولئك لهم نصيب في الدنيا وما له في الآخرة من خلاق ومنهم من يقول ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار أولئك لهم نصيب في الدنيا وما له في الآخرة من خلاق ومنهم من يقول
The Holy Kaaba, the geographical and spiritual epicenter of Islam. It is to this house that all Muslims prostrate 5 times daily. And during the annual Hajj pilgrimage, for those who can afford it once in their lifetime, this is where they come, braving all and expending earthly goods for a heavenly reward which comes after the transient sojourn on earth. Life itself is a journey, a mixture of experiences, some terrestrial, others celestial. But as far as spiritual journeys are concerned, none comes close to the annual Hajj pilgrimage performed by Muslims. Compelling and highly rewarding, its performance is a fulfillment of a pact between the pilgrim and his Creator. The deserts which surround Islam's most holy destinations have always tested the tenacity of a pilgrim. These days, the hurdles are no longer of terrain and weather, but rather man-made in the guise of logistics and seamless travel plans, which are expected to be in sync with the host nation's requirements. Like the imperfect pilgrim seeking a better spiritual connection with his Maker, the Nigerian Hajj Commission has not been faultless in its operations in the past. Little education on the Hajj rights and duties among pilgrims, and a cumbersome Hajj management system which is not immune to inadequacies have made this annual religious duty a difficult task.
The pilgrim whom you are here for, he is far away, 3 to 2 kilometers away from you. He sleeps in a very horrible and bad environment, not clean. Refuse collection is poor. You are not even sure of what type of food he is being served. You are not sure of his the security arrangement who infiltrate into his tent. You are not even sure if the beddings are being provided for him to sleep.
More than just a religious duty, the Hajj highlights a nation's ability to plan effectively, especially in areas involving the mass movement of people. Consequently, its management today in Nigeria has become a creative telepathy between Hajj managers and the pilgrims they serve.
They were not shy to tell us the truth. So that really helped us. And the Saudi government too have been very supportive on the feedback aspect.
In this organizational maze, Abdullahi Mukhtar Muhammad, the chairman of the National Hajj Commission, and his team stand out as a shining example of the present administration's will to effect change in all facets of life. And at no other time has this been better reflected than in the 2016 Hajj exercise. In this exercise, the National Hajj Commission and the body of pilgrims achieved a unique synergy, a departure from previous experiences, which brought about a fulfilling experience for all involved. The 2016 Hajj was a litmus test for the decade-old Commission to achieve a pilgrim-friendly program, which it had set in motion months before. Revisiting past strategies, resetting its priorities and coming up with a model that places the satisfaction of the pilgrim as the core concept of all its activities.
Our belief is these pilgrims are guests of Allah and they need to be served better. So any form of compromise from any quarter cannot be accepted.
From the time the Nigerian pilgrim registers the intention to perform the pilgrimage to the point of liftoff from Nigeria, making the performance of Hajj as seamless as possible has been the challenge.
Every continent comes to Hajj at the same time. And these countries use the same facility at the same time. They're going to use the same facility in Medina, the same facility in Mecca, the same facility in Muna, the same facility in Arafat. So if you don't plan well, you don't get good results.
Turning concepts to actuality, however, demands painstaking effort. To achieve this, pre-airlift meetings were held, where a number of key operational issues were discussed and recalibrated.
Our hope is the service should be delivered, but where we are convinced that services are not delivered, we will certainly make sure that we do whatever it takes within the law to recover that money and refund it back to the pilgrim who paid for that service.
Subsequently, carriers for the airlift were approved after a rigorous screening process and a date set for the first airlift of Nigerian pilgrims.
ما إن تهل على المسلمين أشهر الحج المعلومات حتى تهفو أفئدتهم إلى أداء مناسك الحج.
The Abu Bakr Sa'ad International Airport in Sokoto was venue of the first Saudi Arabia-bound flight from Nigeria for the 2016 Hajj.
Hajj is something that once Allah has called you to the Kaaba, inshallah, whatever happens, whatever the case, you will go there.
We prepare one about 52 staff to be on ground to arrange all things that the intended pilgrims will use.
Everything has been done to ensure smooth airlift and good welfare of the pilgrims.
Well, let me say I'm very glad to welcome the Nigerians coming in here from Nigeria to perform the Hajj operations here. And when you look at some years back, you find out that the organization of Nigerian Hajj Commission was very chaotic. But to my surprise, because I have attended Hajj about 14 years ago. So my second time of performing Hajj now has proved that Nigerians really want a change.
The completion of the outbound flights in record time as promised by the Commission gave early attestation to the era of improved services as promised by the Commission.
I think so far so well. We have had a good reporting from various constituents. I think we commend the Hajj Commission for an excellent job.
Alhamdulillah, we don't have any problem this year operation. We have completed successfully without any problem.
In the Holy Land, the Commission ensured that the pilgrim was given a positive experience as teachings and exhortations by spiritual leaders were not in short supply.
Throughout the Hajj exercise, usually states sensitize their pilgrims from home. So those of us who come to Hajj now go to houses where Nigerian pilgrims are housed, and then we now sensitize them.
The Hajj Commission is developing what we call a manual for the training of the pilgrims, of which the ulama or the trainers this time around will also be trained on.
Accommodation for the pilgrim in the Holy Land has for many years been a thorny issue in Hajj operations. A consequence of poor planning, many a Nigerian pilgrim were provided accommodation far from the points of worship. It was not long ago that abodes such as these in the Awali area of Medina housed Nigerian pilgrims. But distance hinders pilgrims from performing religious duties as frequently as they would have desired. Rabi Muhammad Hausawi has seen many pilgrims come and go from these lodgings in Medina, but in the just concluded Hajj exercise, he was pleasantly surprised that the pilgrims had moved away to a much befitting and closer accommodation to the Prophet's mosque.
The
hotel is just 2 minutes away from the mosque. When a pilgrim comes down from his hotel, he just walks into the mosque. It is one of the best things done for the pilgrims.
That, alhamdulillah, has also given us another image across the globe, to the extent that most of the countries are now competing to be inside Markaziyya because Nigeria is there. We have examples of India, we have example of Pakistan, Sudan. So many other countries are now saying by next year they have to be into the Markaziyya because Nigeria has arrived.
In fact, there's a marked departure from where a Nigerian pilgrim used to be accommodated in Medina.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria also endeared itself to pilgrims with healthcare services provided during their stay in the Holy Land. Health centers were set up in areas close to the pilgrims' accommodation. Medical personnel were on call round the clock to attend to Nigerian pilgrims.
I feel so happy, and I pray that God should continue to bless Nigeria, bless the Nahcon, because they give me the opportunity to serve my Lord after I continue with my work.
At the height of Hajj activities, ambulances were on standby to provide the necessary service for patients.
A lot of states have ambulances. We are already pulling together the ambulances owned by the state. The National Health Commission has 7, with 4 brand new ambulances that are advanced life support. What it means that those 4 brand new ambulances are ambulances that you can move patients who are even unconscious from one location to another.
When it was time to move to Mecca ahead of the Hajj proper, the Commission still maintained its well-structured plan. Comfortable transport arrangements were made to ease movement of pilgrims.
Pilgrims were being moved from Mecca to Muna. I mean, it was really, really good.
God has selected us, chosen us to serve His guest. So we thank Almighty Allah for that. And with His guidance, help, and assistance, we were able to be where we are today. So far, we can say that, alhamdulillah, this year's Hajj is a successful one.
And tranquility from the beginning to the end of this August gathering.
While the pilgrims settled down in Mecca, Nahcon held a pre-Hajj meeting to review the operations and to project for the big day of Arafah ahead.
The most difficult movement, as far as the movement is concerned, is the movement from Arafah to Muzdalifah.
What we believe now is not to have a post-mortem kind of Hajj activity where you allow things to happen and only for the officers or for those concerned to report when we get back home. So we said that should not be the approach. The approach is we have problem, we should solve it on the spot. If it is a poor service, we should demand for an improved service so that people get value for their money.
The pilgrims got to Mina to merge with the greater body of pilgrims ahead of the Arafah. They were ushered into air-conditioned tents, a pleasant departure from past experiences.
I was here by His Grace 5 years ago. I have met others who were here last year. There is a vast improvement in what is on ground.
Feeding contracted to caterers was made available twice a day, even as the Commission monitored the service providers with hawk-eye vigilance to ensure the pilgrims got what they paid for.
Are you not the one that signed the menu? Are you still at my page? I should. How can you sign a menu with the rice damage? It's not done. No.
If you monitor, you get good results. Because business, generally all over the world, every businessman wants to cut corner. We, as an agency that regulates, we make sure that no businessmen is allowed to cut corner.
We try do the best. Alhamdulillah, quality, very nice, good.
The successes recorded in the outbound flight operations and the marked improvement of the accommodation arrangements in Medina stimulated the need for the sustenance of a responsive, efficient and hands-on approach during the Arafah. For this all-important day, the Saudi authorities had introduced new guidelines to orchestrate movements, avoid stampede and other crowd-related challenges which marked the previous Hajj.
We took time to go around some of the states, the major states that we know are problematic. We try to go physically before the outing to give them special orientations and enlightenment and how to go about the whole exercise, both for the Tradidia and the Jamrat.
Following up with the initiatives, Nahcon ensured that when pilgrims raised their hands to the skies in supplication, it was there to play its part in coordinating activities and carrying out assessment visits to ensure compliance with the new guidelines.
The new innovation of having ACs provided in all our tents, which in the past has not been the practice, is working. There are pockets of complaints here and there, particularly generating PowerPoint servicing, Oshun, Yobe, pilgrims is faulty. But we have been to the place with the service providers and the host authority officials. They are working to address that fault.
The services is very good and is very effective, and we are really enjoying the services rendered.
I can say with every certainty that no pilgrim was in any state of despair.
Abdullahi Mukhtar's vision for better Hajj management is in line with the change mantra of the Buhari administration, a creative tripod of sensitive planning, pilgrim-friendly consideration, and a Nigeria-first dogma which has gained it new admirers.
I don't have any language to explaining to you that what kinds of the people, the Nigeria is number one and the fantastic. They are very, very quiet and very fair.
All services is given to Hujjaj very well, and all things was coordinated between Ministry of Hajj and Nigerian Hajj Mission, as well all Hajj missions who's taking care for Hujjaj in this Hajj season, alhamdulillah.
The evaluation of the 2016 exercise has been one tilted towards continued improvements on all fronts, with services ranging from accommodation to transportation and medical services. The aim of the Commission is the aim of the pilgrim.
Even if you have a problem, you talk to the Hajj Commission or any official, they will stay and see that this problem has been cleaned.
We used to admire other countries who have clean environment. Alhamdulillah, this year we have that. We couldn't have achieved that if we did not move to where the pilgrims are, if we did not suffer last year. And this year the movement is not only the commission, but even the mission in Saudi Arabia. The ambassador and his team, the consul general and his team, everybody moved to where the pilgrims are. But last year the mission were not with us. They were in the VIP area. So that also shows responsive leadership on the part of the mission.
At the end of the exercise emerges the better pilgrim and the better pilgrimage.
I must appreciate our pilgrims. All along they proved to be very cooperative and understanding.
Previous administrations have prepared a template for effective Hajj management in Nigeria. In spite of this, the 2016 experience was not without challenges. When they arose, the chairman of the commission and his unrelenting team provided solutions to some of the issues raised.
Okay, I would like to assure you that we'll sit down with AKT officials and we'll review the BTA matter with them. If there is anybody who has paid for $1,000 BTA and he was given $750, we're sure he has to be given his $250 balance.
Many believe that 2016 witnessed a marked improvement in Hajj administration in Nigeria. The target, however, for Nahcon is to ensure a better outing in subsequent years. In this regard, the Commission is reaching out across frontiers and sharing experiences with Hajj managers from other countries.
If our neighboring countries, such as Niger and other African countries like Senegal, they are on ICT platform of registering their pilgrims, I see no reason why Nigeria we shouldn't be there.
The return journey for pilgrims took much the same course as the start. Nahcon, very much cognizant of the dynamics of changing rules in the host country, monitored and coordinated the movement of the pilgrims and their luggage on the outbound flights.
The coordination of the airlift this year is far better than what we used to have. The airlines were more committed than ever before.
We go to individual pilgrim houses, their homes where they reside. We go with the truck, we check their baggages from there. We take away the stress completely. So once we give you the weighing card, you return it by giving us the accurate manifest. We manifest that pilgrim baggage as we are manifesting a human being.
The usual furore over Zamzam water was absent in 2016, as the Zamzam water had already been airlifted beforehand, awaiting the arrival of the pilgrim back home. At the end, Nigeria achieved resounding success bringing the pilgrims back home safely and in record time.
Analysis of the flights between last year and this year. Same time last year, we had about 15.9%, but this year we have 18.1%, which is a great departure.
The Hajj connects Muslims all over the world in a sacred holy duty, a journey embarked upon century after century as camels gave way to aeroplanes.
The Hajj Commission has done well and they deserve commendation, but we still call on them to continue to innovate and improve. I can see innovation like the introduction of the handband, electronic handband for easy identification.
We have to go ICT, and we have to join the crusade of anti-corruption fight by Mr. President to eliminate whatever corrupt-related practice that has to do with pilgrim registration. We have to do that.
Yet, one thing remains constant in the mind of the pilgrim. Let me get there to my spiritual reward. And may Allah bless all those who help me get there.